Gabriella exhibited a degree of disarray in her behavior. She is unsure of what it is that she desires. In order to save her life, she is unable to make a decision. In order to pursue a career as a fireman, she made the decision to give up her diving career, which is why she was diving again tonight. In the absence of any supervision, she has been jumping over a cliff. As a result of the fact that she hadn't engaged in activities of such nature in a couple of years, she hurt herself. She is worn out. In addition, she was a fool when it came to other aspects of her life. It was a drinking trip for her. As a result of her encounter with Captain Casey, he was required to transport her back to her airstream. He made sure that she arrived home safely. And because she had said a lot of things while she was under the influence of alcohol, he did not want to run into her again. The Leons were instructed to surrender Casey's driver's license upon her request. It was left at the bar by her. Casey was required to provide an explanation for what transpired with the Leons, and in a sense, he was reporting her for being intoxicated. There were 2 chiefs who were Leons. Even if he made an official report about it, they would still need to talk to her in order to make an unofficial or formal report. This would need them to take some action. Gabriella was the recipient of the license that was returned to her by Sharon. Gabriella's wound was visible to her. It was her offer to assist in dressing it. She attempted to persuade Gabriella to open up, but the woman refused to move out of her own way and communicate with her. Gabriella went so far as to assert that her injury was caused by rock climbing. She did not mention that she had suffered an injury when leaping from a cliff, or that she had resumed her diving activities. In the most recent instance in which Gabriella engaged in such an activity, she was after Bodhi, who had fallen off a bridge while driving a car. During that time, it was not her best moment. It is still not the case today. It was also impossible for Gabriella to rely on Bode to distract her from the situation. In the end, Bode decided to end their relationship forever. He was unable to continue waiting around for her, and she was not interested in making a commitment to him. Everything came to an end for Bode since she did not provide him with any other choices. When the firefighters were called to a fire, it was an embarrassing situation because of this. This was Gabriella and Sharon biking together. There was Bode riding alongside Casey. Due to the fact that Casey had threatened to flunk Bode, Bode attended to the call in order to demonstrate his worth. However, the call did not turn out as they had anticipated. The security guard declared that the alert was a fake one. Together with her squad, Sharon departed the scene. In order to ensure that there was no fire, she instructed Casey to check each floor individually. In order to be with Bode and Audrey, Casey remained behind. When they discovered the captives, they were scouring the back of the building. In reality, the security guy was committing a theft at the location. He was armed with a firearm. He exerted his influence over the firefighters. It was because he wanted them to use their tools to access the vault in the back that he took the initiative to pull the fire alarm. It was a dispensary for marijuana. Their cash reserves are quite substantial. The security guard was in a state of disbelief. He goes by the name Shane. He had a job there in the past. His dismissal occurred more than a year ago. There was no other work that he could find. His dog, his apartment, and even his automobile were all things that he had to give up. Because he is quite desperate, he needed the money that was stored in the vault. He has the desire to begin his life anew somewhere new, and he believes that he could succeed in doing so by robbing a dispensary. Shane, along with an assortment of his former co-workers, had Audrey's zipper secured. As they broke into the vault, Bode and Casey were doing it. The goal of Casey was to sneak up on Shane. Bode was able to dissuade him from doing it. According to him, if Casey did it, then he would be required to do it as well. At the same time, Bode stated that Shane had no other choices. When he reaches that stage, he has nothing to lose. It was his belief that the man became even more dangerous, and he was not mistaken in his assessment. A call for assistance was made by Audrey. He was able to locate her. In the shoulder, he fired a shot at her. The reason he did that was to serve as a warning to the others, in case he didn't want any more of his people to lose their lives. The list of graduates that Casey had compiled was revealed while they were being kept as hostages. There was no sign of Bode. Casey's test was unsatisfactory for him. He was going to be let down by Casey. It caused Bode's family and friends to feel distressed. The people were concerned about what Bode would do, but Bode had already reconciled himself to the situation. At the beginning of the shift, Casey informed him that he was not going to be able to compete with him. In spite of this, Bode continued to work the shift since he was determined to be a firefighter for as long as he ever could. Then the scenario involving the hostages occurred. Despite the fact that they accessed the vault, Shane was still not satisfied. The impression that Shane gave was that he did not want to release any of them. Prior to anyone becoming aware of the situation, he desired to escape with the money. When Casey reached that point, he had had enough, and he engaged Shane in a fight for the rifle. Bode came to the rescue to assist. Shane was able to have the gun taken away from him. The fire was started only by them. A fire was started as a result of the bullet that he mistakenly shot into an oxygen tank. There was a need for the firefighter to clear the building. First things first, Bode made sure to empty the rifle. After that, he assisted the others in escaping their shackles, and together they managed to free the captives and bring them outdoors, away from the flames. An order to leave was given to Shane. In spite of the fact that he was still attempting to extract as much money as possible from the vault, he declined to participate. For him to perish in the flames, Casey could not abandon him. Afterward, he returned to his truck. Both he and his cadets prepared themselves by acquiring the necessary equipment. For the purpose of rescuing Shane, they all went back into the fire. Even though he did not deserve it, they nevertheless managed to save him. They were able to get him outside. Shane participated in medical therapy. Audrey is in the same boat. Casey was also interviewed by Bode. Bode was seen by Casey as a type of surrogate for his younger sibling. For this reason, he was extremely harsh with him. Casey acknowledged that he was treating Bode in an unfair manner. After making his decision to pass him, he changed his mind. Together with Audrey, Bode was able to become a fireman. Additionally, Audrey ended her relationship with her boyfriend, and as a result, she decided to become a fireman in order to reorganize her priorities. The cadets were honored with a large-scale celebration. Gabby made the decision to forego it. Sharon was really concerned about her well-being. She made an effort to discuss the matter with Manny. Manny advised her to continue efforts to get in touch with his daughter. Whenever Bode required his assistance, he was there for him. It seemed to Manny that it was only right that Sharon should be present for Gabriella at this time. The only difference was that there was one. Gabriella was unable to distinguish Sharon's anxiety from her own. The only thing she saw was interference, and as a result, she fled. To return to the bar, she went back. There, she was able to meet Jake. Just now, Jake learned that Genevieve was going to be staying in Idaho. It was important to her that she be with her biological father and sisters and brothers. Jake was saddened since he considered Genevieve to be his daughter, but he made the decision to act in a way that was beneficial to her. After he had made up his mind to give her up, he decided to sleep with Gabriella in order to help himself feel better. Due to the fact that Bode has created a provocative new relationship with Audrey, he won't mind.